Mental health issues are on the rise around the world. This short video documents recent attempts to address these issues in Maine schools, and particularly in primary schools, via a program called MindUP. The introduction of MindUP in Maine schools is the result of a collaboration I initiated with my friend Goldie Hawn, who founded MindUP in 2003. After meetings about mental health issues in Maine, we teamed up to launch pilot programs for MindUP in several Maine school districts.
Listening to our educators really speak about the importance of what we're doing really fills my heart, because it is something I've been doing for 20 years, trying to help our children have greater brain fitness, understand how to handle their own emotions, and be able to flourish in their classroom and outside of their classroom.
We have a mental health crisis across the country. It is especially strong in youth. We know in Maine that a third of our youth say that they have felt hopeless for at least 2 weeks out of the last year. And we know 1 in 5 of our youth in Maine have seriously considered suicide in the last year. These statistics were climbing, getting worse before the pandemic, and they've worsened considerably since the pandemic.
Similar to communities nationwide, the communities in Maine have been hit by an epidemic of disengagement, especially with youth. There's pervasive sense of hopelessness in many cases. Kids have been exposed here in our state and across the nation to multiple forms of trauma, and it gets in the way of learning when kids are dealing with these impacts.
If a student doesn't know how to read, we teach them to decode and sound out words, and we teach them to read. If a student doesn't know how to do math, adding and subtracting, we give them supports like a number line or manipulatives. But if a student doesn't know how to behave, we punish them. Why shouldn't that be part of the curriculum just as reading and math is?
And these are the most important things we can do in a classroom setting, is to give the children the tools that they need in order to access the level of calm and focus that they're going to need in order to learn.
I think we are in a crisis because of the behavior of children and the lack of strategies to control their behavior, and for the mass exodus of teachers leaving the profession. I think this is a crisis for sure.
And the one consistent thing that we hear across our health system from our schools is they need help with youth mental health because it is a crisis. And MindUP is a tremendous, effective tool to address that crisis.
Good morning, Spruce Mountain Primary School. All right, everyone's looking amazing, so I will get started.
So we started MindUP approximately a year ago, and we slowly integrated it.
How we wanted to approach it was take a slow roll with it. So we spent last year just getting the basics down.
Starting this year, I was able to hit the ground running, and I felt a little more familiar with everything that I was talking about. So just seeing right from the beginning, talking to children about how are they feeling, checking in with themselves, like what has gone on before school, because you don't become a new person when you walk through the door.
Weather today,
Every morning at 8 o'clock, we get on a Google Meet, every classroom's involved, and I just go through our daily announcements. One of the things though that I try to incorporate with MindUP is we might do some whole group talking about the brain. We always do a breathing exercise all together.
I'm gonna invite everyone, if you would like to close your eyes. Deep breath in. Hold. And deep breath out.
Understanding how to talk to children about how are you feeling? How are you coming in today? This might be affecting you. I want you to think about yourself as a human, and you understand how you get affected by things. That way you can take care of yourself. Take care of the inside of yourself, because you're the only person that feels your feelings.
Because a lot of times with students, we know and they know that they might be going through a hard time, or they might have their amygdala, their barking dog might be out in full force, but they don't know why. So teaching them about their parts of their brain, what are their purposes? If your barking dog is going off, how can you calm it? How can you get back to their prefrontal cortex, to your thinking brain? So I think a lot of that has really worked.
All right, so we're gonna do our little brain break where we're gonna close our eyes.
The one thing I really like about the brain break is that it just slows everybody down. I feel like sometimes I am moving too fast, and then the kids as well, they start going too fast, but just slowing everybody down and just taking a second and being like, let's not worry about what we're doing. It will be there when we come back. Let's just take a second. Let's all like slow down. Ready?
And just this morning when I was in the classroom, they were doing their brain break. If you look around, you'll see everyone engaged.
O'Shea, are you focused and ready? Did that make you calm and ready? Is your wise owl ready? Mikey, is your wise owl ready?
Everyone has a few minutes just to stop and breathe. So if we can instill that at a very young age, hopefully when they grow up, they'll be able to do that also.
We have that echoing through our hallways with pre-K, K, first and second grade. Brain breaks allow us to be mindful, stop, and take care of ourselves.
So I feel like a lot of kids are starting to see they can do MindUP and they can do the practice outside of our MindUP time or our morning meeting time.
We want healthy children. That's our ideal goal, right? But we also want healthy teachers. We want healthy administrators. We want healthy everybody. And so really what MindUP's given us is those tools.
It's not curriculum heavy. It is just a mindset. We always are adding to teachers' plates and we never take anything off of it. And we know MindUP, it may not be a huge section on the plate. It might just be a little seasoning you throw on top of it, but it's the thing that just kind of connects everything together.
The children that are coming into your room could benefit from it. And so you understanding how you can talk to children at a developmentally appropriate level, where they understand what you're saying and that they can actually put it into practice themselves, it's going to do nothing but help your classroom.
It is essential for us to do this in schools. I believe it's impacting us directly and indirectly, consciously and unconsciously. It is rewiring the brain.
So if we can give teachers the tools that they need to pass on strategies to their students, but also to take care of themselves, I think this is a very important area that we should focus on. Because if we can't be present as the adults, we're going to miss things that our students need.
The opportunity to have direct instruction in how to operate the magnificent organ that is the developing brain in our children, those opportunities are very important and can have far-reaching benefits.
I want to thank David Chalk tremendously for this. He brought Goldie Hawn to Maine to educate us on MindUP, and then he has now funded us to bring MindUP into Maine and to spread it across the state.
I am a survivor of a very serious brain injury called viral encephalitis, which severely impacted my cognitive capabilities. My recovery from that injury caused me to better understand how the brain works and how it's possible to transcend injuries by repairing damaged cognitive capabilities and neural networks. I wanted to benefit others by sharing what I learned about how the brain works, its plasticity, and the amazing power that we all have to influence important brain functions and improve our mental wellness. As two important examples, I think everyone could benefit from understanding the brain's prefrontal cortex and its role in emotional behavior, as well as the role of the hippocampus in learning and memory. It's gratifying to see the positive results of our initial experience with MindUP in Maine. Participants have been happy with the program's effectiveness, its credibility via evidence-based science, and the prospect for scaling this work to meet urgent needs in many schools across the state.
David, I want to thank you so much for what you're doing for MindUP. Working with you has been an absolute dream, and we both dream together. Thank you so much, and all of you, all of our educators, our administrators who have been so articulate about how MindUP can help our little ones live a better